Hello and welcome to another tutorial. Today we are going to create a command line password generator using Node.js. Sometimes when you go to a website and you might have the need to create an account over there, you have to provide a password. The tool that we are creating today is going to generate a random password which you can use for those websites. Alongside that, the password generation also comes up with some options. That means you can put some custom command line arguments which will generate the password. For example, you can set a custom length. You can also use, if you don't want to use any numbers or any special characters, you can also ignore those. And of course, if you want to save those passwords after generation, you can also have an argument which can save the password in a passwords.txt file. We will be showing you a demo of this, so let's just get into it. So now for the demonstration, the first thing that we need to do is we need to write generate password. So as you can see, it says the password has been generated and there is an 8-character passwords. That means the character length has been set to 8 as default. You can change it with whatever you want. You can also use custom length with the command line, and you can also see that password copy to clipboard. It means that you can just directly paste the password to the place where you want to create the account or somewhere else. And now the next thing that I want to show you is, as I said, that you can use the command save, which will save this password in a passwords.txt file. If you can see that there is a passwords.txt file already open, it will be saved in this file. So if I write generate password -1 save, you can see a password is generated. It says the password saved to passwords.txt file, and you can match that this is the same password as this one. And I also said that you can set custom length. So if you write generate password, if you want to say, I will just skip the save. You can also not use the save as well, but I will just skip it. -length equals, I would like to use 20. So you can see a 20-character long password has been generated. And I also said about no numbers and no symbols, so I'll just show both of them together in a single line. So I'll just skip the length, I'll just skip the save, and for no number I can use -nn, or I can also use no hyphen numbers, and for no symbols I can use -ns, or I can also use no hyphen symbols. So if I click on enter, you can see that a password, 20-character long password, has been generated and it's saved over here. And it contains no numbers and no symbols, and by symbol we mean no special characters. So as you can see that it contains of only capital letters and small letters of the English alphabet. So that's the demonstration part. So let's just clear these things off and let's get to coding. But before we go to coding, I just want to ask you to, if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to this channel and hit the bell icon so that whenever I upload a new video, you will be notified immediately. Alright, we have opened the directory in VS Code, and the first thing that we want to do is npm init. And by pressing enter, you can see that there are a bunch of questions, and we just need to press enter in everything. And the thing is, we will keep the name as generate random password. So I'll just keep on pressing enter. And yes, I have done the initialization and I have got my package.json. The next thing that I want to do is I want to install some packages, and these are Commander, Choc, and Clipboardy. So I'll just write npm I Commander, Choc, Clipboardy. Okay, pressing enter. You can see that these are being installed. Alright, so now we have our packages. The next thing that we are going to do is we are going to create an index.js file, and we will start coding. Alright, I'll just close this for now. So the things that we need to do are, first of all, we need to import the packages that we have just installed. So we will write const commander equals require commander, const choc equals require choc, and const clipboard equals require clipboard. All right. Now the thing is, we need to set some command line arguments, I would say. So let's set the version number in the first place. So for doing that, we need to write commander.version, and let's set the version to 1.0.0 and give a description for this version as random password generator. All right. Now we will set some command line arguments like the things that we showed. We will be doing 4 options. The first one will be save, then length, then no numbers and no symbols. So these are the 4 options that we will be showing. So let's start with commander. Let's go to the new line, option. I just need to click OK. Option. The first option, as I said, will be save. So it's either -s, or you can also use --save. And we will give a description that save password to passwords.txt. Okay. We will copy this line and paste it 3 more times. All right, there you go. Okay, the next thing that we are going to do is length. So we can either write -l, or we can also write length. We can put a number, as we have shown. We have to set a number to the length argument, so that the password that is generated will be that amount of length or that amount of characters long. So a description to this will be length of the password. And let's, as I said, that we have already set a default value of 8, as we have shown previously. You can also just set a default value of something else. So for this purpose, let's set the value to 10. So the password that will be generated every time, if the length argument is not set in the command line, you will always get a number or the password with 10 characters. All right. So the next things are no number and no symbols. So for no numbers, we can write n-nn, or we can also write no numbers, and set a description to remove numbers from generation, from password generation. And we can also write ns, which is no symbols or no special characters. So we can also write no symbols. We will just copy this, paste it here. I think instead of numbers, we will just put symbols. All right. And the last thing that we need to do is parse. All right. Now we have the options. We just need to set this in the commander.opts. That means the command line options. We need to set those. So for those, we need to write const length save numbers and symbols. This will be the commander.opts. So now we will actually be creating 2 more files where we will be using 2 functions. One is CreatePassword and another is the SavePassword. So let's do the CreatePassword first. But before creating those files, let's just finish up over here. So the thing that we need to do is const generated password equals CreatePassword. This is what we are going to create. And the parameters that we will be passing are length, numbers, and symbols. Okay. And for the file to be saved, we need to we need to check if save, then we will be calling this function SavePassword, and the parameter that we are going to pass is generated password. All right. And we also want to, when the password is generated, we also want it to be copied to the clipboard so that we can easily paste it anywhere we want, or the place that we are actually creating the account. So for that, we will be using clipboardy.writeSync generated password. With this, the password will be copied to the clipboard. And finally, the things that we want to print are console log. Now the usage of chalk will be seen because we want some colored text. So the thing that we will be using in the first place is blue bright. Chalk.blue bright, and the text will be generated password. And alongside that, it will be, let's just bold the password that is generated. So let's write chalk.bold, and it will be generated password. All right. And we will also console log. This will be chalk.green. It will say password copied to clipboard. Okay, it's spelled correctly now. All right. So this is the file, and now we will be creating CreatePassword and SavePassword. So let's just think that these are actually utilities. So we will be creating a file. We will be creating a folder called utils, and inside utils, we will be creating two files. The first one will be CreatePassword.js, and the other one will be SavePassword.js. All right. So now let's start with CreatePassword.js. The thing is, the passwords will be containing alphabets, numbers, and symbols. So the alphabets will be capital letter and small letter. So I've already saved it somewhere. I'll just directly copy those and paste it here. As you can see, this alpha means the English alphabets, all small letters and capital letters. The numbers are consisting of the numbers, and symbols consist of special characters. Okay, so now let's create the function constant create password. And as I said, there will be three parameters that we will be passing are length, has numbers, has symbols. And this will be an arrow function. Now let parse equals alpha. So we will be just assigning alpha, that means the English alphabets, in the parse variable. And now we will be assigning numbers and symbols with conditions. So as numbers question mark will be parse plus equals numbers. Let's just keep this in a bracket. Or it's an empty string. I'll just copy this, and it will be the same thing for symbols as well. So we will write has symbols, and instead of numbers, it will be symbols, or it will be empty. And now from this, we will be returning generate password, which will consist of length and parse. So we will be creating the generate password here. Okay, now let's create the generate password function. So it will be const generate password equals the parameters that we'll be passing are length and character par actually, and this will be an arrow function. So let password equals an empty string in the first place, and the password will be randomly generated, as you know. So we will be generating random numbers, random symbols, and the random alphabets. So for this, we will be running a for loop in the first place. So for let I equals 0, I less than length I plus plus. Okay. Password plus equal cars dot car at math dot floor math dot random multiplied by car dot length, and we will return the password. And before we forget, we need to export the module, so we will write module.export equals CreatePassword. All right, so this is done. We will save this, and let's go to SavePassword and create that. So for this, we need to make some imports as well. So first of all, let's import fs. Constant fs equals require fs const path equals require path const os equals require os, and we will be using chalk here as well because we want some colored text to be printed. Require chalk. Okay. Now let's create the SavePassword. And the parameter that we'll be passing will be password. This is going to be an arrow function. fs.open path.join directory name, and we will be saving it actually one level upper because we are in the utils folder, but we want to save it to the root folder, and to go there we need to write like this, and the name of the file that where we will be saving the password is passwords.txt. Even if you don't have it, it will be automatically generated. Okay, password.txt. All right, so after that we want to append the password, so newly generated passwords. It's not like we want to rewrite the files every time a new password is generated. So for that we will be using a, and the permission that we are going to give to this directory is 666, and we will be creating another arrow function. So for that the parameters will be event. We will just use e and id, and inside that we will be writing fs.write id password plus os dot that means end of line, and with that we have null and utf8, and then we will also have another arrow function, and we don't need to pass any parameters with this, so let's write that. fs.close id, another one. Here we will be logging console.log shop.yellow. We will write password save to passwords.txt. All right, what we needed is done, and we need to export this as well. So module.exports equals SavePassword. All right, so let's go back to the index.js file, and we need to import these two files. So we will write const CreatePassword equals require utils slash CreatePassword, and we will also write const SavePassword equals require util slash SavePassword. All right, so these have been imported and used accordingly. The next thing that we will be doing is we will be creating a symlink. If you see the package.json, you can see that the name of this project is generate random password. So you open a terminal anywhere in your computer and you just use this command generate random password. It will run this and generate a password for you. So for creating the symlink, we need to make some configurations. The first thing that we need to do is here we need to write prefer global, set it to true, and we need to set the bean, and the bean will be index.js. Okay, let's save this. We need to run npm link. Before that, let's just clear this. Npm link. Okay, so you can see that we have the symlink created, and we also need to do one more thing. We need to write user bean env node. Okay, we just save it, and now let's clear this first, and let's try to run the application with the symlink that we have created. So it will be generate random password, which is the name of the project. If we enter, you can see that a password has been generated. So let's just open up a terminal somewhere else, like if we are in the desktop, and let's open up a terminal. Just increase the size of this, and if we write generate random password, you can see the password has been generated. And we can also try and write with the command line arguments the options that we have created with no numbers, no symbols, length. So let's try length. We can write this equals 15, and you can see a 15 character long password has been generated. Okay, so now as we have come back, we need to make a little correction in the save password. This UTF-8, this should be inside single quotations. Just save it. Now we will see how passwords.txt is generated and how it contains a password that is generated from the command line. So you can see that there is no passwords.txt here. If we run the command generate random password --save, you can see that this is the generated password and the password.txt has been created. If we open this, you can see that this and this are similar. And the last thing that I want to show is, as I said, that the password is automatically copied to clipboard. So you can see that I will just try and paste the password here in this file here. I'll just press enter, and if I just paste it, you can see that this is pasted, or I can also use Ctrl V or Command V. So you can see that this password is already in the clipboard. So any password that is generated. So let's just show another demo of, I'll just generate a password. And now as you can see that this is the newly generated password, and if I press Ctrl V, this is the password that has been generated. So I'll just leave it as it was. Okay. So that's basically it for the video. I hope you have enjoyed it. If you find this video useful, be sure to like, share, and comment on this video. And I will also request you to subscribe to this YouTube channel and hit the bell icon if you haven't already, so that you'll be notified whenever I upload a new video. And with that said, I will see you people in the next video. Till then, goodbye.